Coming at you with Darcy Donavan, aka the Crypto Queen. How's it going today?
It's going great. How are you doing, Randy?
I'm doing all right. Looking lovely, all decked out in red. Very nice.
That's my colors, red or all black.
I
So
dig it. Dig it. Like Sith colors, like Darth Maul, Darth Vader. I like
yeah,
that. I love Star Wars.
yeah. There you go. See,
So,
oh, that's it. That's how I do it.
so
So
those
red's a
that
power color, by the way. It's a power
of
color.
course, 100%.
So
And for those that don't know, you are a Miss Former Nashville, Tennessee, and are seen throughout the world as beautiful. So one
oh, well,
question I
thank
wanted.
you. I don't feel it, but thank you.
Oh, one question I wanted to ask you is that
Sure.
because you're seen, like for your beauty at first glance, before people get to know the real you and they get to understand you, what is something that you find beautiful in the earth, and how has your experiences changed that view over time?
Okay, so help me out here. So you're saying that how, like, what do I see in the world? Is that what you're asking me? Like,
What do you
what I
find
see?
beauty in?
Who do I find beautiful?
Who or what? Yeah, it
Who
could
or
be a
what?
person.
Honestly, you would really want to know my dogs. I think that animals are about as beautiful and as close to God as you can get when you really think about it, because animals are, it's unconditional love.
Yeah.
Um, and for people that have not ever heard this is going to blow their mind. But if you ever, dog spelled backwards is God.
Yeah.
So, the thing is that, speaking of, I don't know if I have any of them. I will say, oh, when Supergirl, yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah.
agrees.
When Supergirl goes, I agree. It's true. I mean, dogs are like, they're, I, I've always had dogs ever since I was a kid. I mean, my mom didn't know where I would be. She would be like, you know, I was in the dog. I actually would sleep in the doghouse at night. I had a
Oh,
chow named Pepper. Oh, and this is who I adopted. This is
oh.
Billions.
Long-haired Chihuahua?
You my baby boy. But Billions is 6 months old, and
Baby.
what's crazy is he's born on my birthday.
Oh,
Like,
very cool.
yeah, so he'll be, 1 year on my birthday, but there's a whole story, I mean, behind him, which I'm like, he is a miracle. Like, there is, I've seen so many supernatural miracle things. And I tell people, God is so real, no matter what, no matter what you think, there's a God, there's angels, and they're working on our behalf. I have friends that are atheists. I have friends that are, Baptists, Catholics,
Yeah.
Presbyterian, and I don't judge anybody. I'm just a very spiritual person. Plus, my dad was a Baptist deacon. He's like
Oh, wow.
a preacher almost, and my mom was a Catholic. That's probably why they didn't work out.
Yeah.
So
It
just
happens
the
like that
way,
every now and then.
yeah. And I mean, I got to tell you, just the way I got him is just incredible. I mean, God knew I needed him when I did. Didn't you? You little cutie little boy, Judy. Oh, sorry. Sometimes I forget. And I'll just start talking.
Oh,
People are like,
that's great.
okay.
We wanted to
Yeah,
be
but
candid.
okay, I'm gonna see you later, little web. He's still got his a little diaper on.
Oh,
He's trill training. He's just a baby. But I have 6 dogs, and
oh wow.
I've rescued majority, like all of them except for him. Like him, it's just kind of a miracle how I got him. So that's another story. We could talk about it, but
We can go all day. I know.
yeah, it could go all day. But it was just he's just a very special dog, and I think dogs come into your life really when you need them. When you're dealing with a death or something major, in your
Yeah.
life. And I always tell people, if you're in a bad space, or if you're depressed, you're suicidal, get a dog. So anybody
Yeah.
listening, please go and get a dog, because I tell you what, at the shelters, they are so loyal. So, I mean, and here you go, Randy. What do you find beautiful? I'm going to turn around on you
Oh,
now.
okay. Um, so I think, I mean, obviously the brain kind of plays tricks on you every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
But I think music is like part mathematics and it's just part euphoria. like
No,
classical music, like old school, like, Beethoven or like Furlis or Dvorak. There's so
Mozart.
many
Yeah,
composers.
Mozart's
Yeah.
stuff is amazing.
Yeah, those are really cool. And I mean, obviously, I find nature beautiful as well. Before I would work for as a veterinarian assistant for about 9 years before I joined the military. So I love dogs. Like my life's work is to make as much money as possible and donate 90% of it to animal charities and
Well, then I'll be
animal
getting back
conservation.
with you. That we'll be talking then, because then I could have you like handle, like, I want to do it on a global scale, but
Me
I need
too.
somebody that I can trust that's going to handle, like, and be honest, that handles uh, animal charities and stuff like that. But I want to do it on a global scale to where, you know, people, we can rescue these animals, but then also rehabilitate them or whatever, and then give them into homes, people that need them. And I mean, it could really, it could really do a lot of good to a lot of people, vets, people
Yeah.
that are sick. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of guys I served with, they like, for a few of them said like, no, like my dog saved my life. I was like, and
yeah,
you know what they meant.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
so I
I
mean,
know.
I already work with Best Friends Animal Society, like in the USA, like country, and then Pit of Our Souls Rescue, like locally on Long Island.
Oh,
Um,
that is
so,
amazing.
so yeah,
I,
we'll definitely talk. We have a lot of things to talk about now
oh,
and in
I
the
know.
future.
Yeah,
So I
there's
guess
so much
uh,
more to do, isn't there?
always,
Needs The
always.
world needs us, Randy.
So a follow up: does your interpretation of beauty, does that affect the type of NFTs you buy, or does your economic mind come into it and say, no, I only want to buy the NFTs with utility and a roadmap and that type of deal?
Oh, that's actually a good question. It kind of encompasses it all, really. I mean, obviously, do you want to buy something that's ugly? I mean, there's some ugly ass NFTs, okay? And I'm like, I'll buy it because a friend of mine's like, oh, this is my NFT. It's like, what are you going to do when, your kid? I mean, obviously, I mean, and I hate to say that I was an ugly kid. I mean, my mom
Sure.
says different, but I cut off all my hair. Like, I had beautiful hair, cut it all off because it got bubble gum in it. I look like Justin
Uh,
Bieber with buck teeth. So if you ask my mom, she'll be like, no, but what am I supposed to say? You're a
yeah.
cute, you're an ugly kid, but listen, there's ugly kids, but you're not going to tell your friend, hey, your kid's ugly. It's like, no, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So NFT usually was, you got a cute son, but I was a girl. But anyway, so yeah, there's some NFTs that I've gotten just, like, hey, it's a friend, but yes, there's some actual, like, I'm going to be coming out with my own NFT line, and I'm a perfectionist, but it's got to, I like something that encompasses everything, something
Mhm.
that is beautiful to look at, that I own, something that does have a utility attached to it. And, sometimes it's, if there's a charity attached or, something like that. But I really think it encompasses a lot of things because, I mean, when you buy it, it's like a digital renaissance. You're owning that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Hopefully, unless but it's like a residual income for actors, for
Yeah.
people. So it's you're buying art. It's incredible. So and art is interpretation. I mean, I've seen stuff, have you heard of Pollock? Pollock's a huge artist.
Yeah.
He was a huge artist. And, you know, somebody can look at his stuff and thinks it looks like, a kid just like threw paint on. But, to me, it's an interpretation. I mean, there's been some art and I'm like, I wouldn't pay $5 and it's gone for 5 million. And, then there's art that I'm like, my God, this is absolutely incredible. So it's just everybody has a different taste.
Yeah.
It's just like when you go into somebody's house, my house, the way I decorate it is completely different than, the way my mom or my sister or even my brothers. So,
Yeah.
I guess I
I
would encompass a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of artists. I went to Designer Con last year, and I just went to VCon with Gary Vaynerchuk, and a lot of them are really trying to. One, they would kill for like your following, like your audience, like, and if they can't get that organically, they would partner with somebody else, like veve, or they would partner with someone like maybe like Recur or VFriends or Comey, Have you had any partnerships that you've thought about doing with?
Well, actually with the NFT that I'm doing, there's actually two, really huge other celebrities too that I'm going to be talking to. So, we're kind of we're in the negotiation stage, how that goes. But, I will say this, I really worked my ass off. I mean, it's not like, hey, I woke up and I just had, 7 million followers. It's like, I worked my butt off. I mean, it's ever since I was, a kid, I was doing commercials, I was doing film, television. I started out actually I did music, and then I got in a huge commercial, and, I didn't realize at the time, I was definitely a better actor than the kid they had. And, that's why I got out of it, because I was like 8 or 9, and like this kid kept, this older kid, he was like teen, he kept messing up his lines, and I was like, "Mommy, I don't enjoy this." After the 30th take, I'm like, I want to get the hell out of here. No. So, at that point, I didn't really enjoy it, but I will say that I've already supporting some amazing projects that are problem solving with I would say incredible utilities. I have been working diligently with them to bring many things into fruition. So there are multiple partnerships, in the works with a lot of companies, that I really love. Yeah. And, I want to help unite the DeFi. I genuinely feel that Web3 to grow to new levels, we all have to come together. It's, not have a closed mind mentality, of my project is better than yours, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you really have to, it's the same thing with, being, with my things that I do. I put pressure on myself. People are like, "Oh, wow, they look at my resume. Oh, you've done all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wow. And I just don't see that. I've always been hard on myself. My family's not much of, patting me on the back, and it's kind of like, everybody wants validation from their parents, and I will never get it. I just won't. The only time it just won't happen, and it sucks, I mean, they're like, "Hey, good job." But then it's like on to the next thing. "Well, Darcy, the dog pooped, and oh my God, they ate it. And I'm trying to get him to stop. Diesel keeps trying to eat his poop." And I'm like, I could be like, "Mom, I just won an Oscar." "Oh, that's great, honey." "Oh, do you know that your dad sat there and, he fell off his little riding thing that he rides around, the golf cart." That's kind of the shit that I have to deal with. So, I've done a lot, but it's never enough. I want to always do more and more and more. And I've always had that mentality, I mean, hey, I wrote a book, and it's like, it's not enough. I still got to write another book,
I think we're cut from the same cloth. Last year, I told my mom, like, "Hey, I have to live stream in a minute. Just want to let you know I just became a millionaire. Don't forget our mortgage." "Okay, thanks, Mom." "Thanks for your support."
Well, okay. I'm glad my mom doesn't watch, she doesn't normally watch all my interviews. I mean, television stuff, sometimes she'll see, or she'll read stuff online. She's like, did you hear about this? Did you do that?" I'm like, "No, Mom, it's the media. Come on." But, she's a trip. I mean, sometimes the things that she says, I'm just like, it just blows my mind, because it's like, I know I could buy my mom. That's the great thing. See, with money that I'm making with crypto and movies and stuff, now that I'm at that place in my life, it's just great. She's going to be in a bitchy mood. I just sent something from Amazon, and then she shuts up. "Oh, hi, honey. How you doing?" So I'm like, I'm just going to buy her love if I have to. Just shut her up. You know how moms can be, they, picking on you, and, "Randy, what are you doing? Why are you wearing that? What's going on with the hair? What you doing now? What are you eating?" My mom does the same thing to me. Drives me nuts. I love her to death, but sometimes it's like,
We got one of your fans in here. Yeah, one of your fans saying, like, they don't know you were an Anchorman.
Oh yeah, I was an Anchorman. Great movie, great time. Will Ferrell, Paul Rudd, amazing people. Adam McKay, who is the director of that, he actually did The Big Short, and he did a lot of other. Oh yeah, he did a lot of other films. I mean, Adam is very, 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 very talented, and I will say, as a director, I am deeply honored to have worked with him. He is an amazing man, and I really do. I really do want to work with him again on something really funny. I know he's taking a little time off, but he's a great guy, very talented.
So that's something I also wanted to ask you about. Jack Kerouac once said that I like too many things and get all confused and hung up running from one falling star to another until I drop. You have been going from acting, recording artist, CMO of E-Coin finance, entrepreneur, all while trying to do everything. Do you ever feel like
you forgot something? Co-owner of Income Island.
Oh yeah, yes. There's so many things that you do, and there's a bunch that I didn't mention as well that you're trying to do. But do you ever think like it's too much? Do you ever feel like you're stretched too thin?
No, I think it's not enough. Now I will say this. I feel like if people take on more than they can handle, it can be bad. Like, as in terms of, you could ruin your reputation. I always say to under promise and over deliver. That's the huge thing in business. I mean, I've helped companies, that's just my thing. Like, I've helped people start their own businesses. I've helped fans, that were struggling. I told them, they said, hey, this is what I'm good at. When I was with Safu racing team in London this last week, there was he's a sweet guy, Adam, and he was an investor, and I helped him get on the right path of what he needed to do. So that's something that just God gave me, that when I can sit down with somebody, I can set them on the right path and tell them the goals. But here's the deal. It's kind of like if I was your, what do you call it? When you go to the gym, your
gym buddy, your trainer, partner?
Yeah, your trainer. It's like, if I'm a trainer, and I'm telling you what to do, I could tell you, hey, don't eat this, get up at this. But if you don't do it, I mean, okay, well, it's like, okay, if you want to be a fat ass, then be a fat. I mean, I'm telling you how not to be and get in shape. I mean, it's the same thing with me. If I, don't do certain things, it's like, let myself go. Or if I don't keep up with organization is everything in business. I try to tell people that you need to be organized in your home. You need to, you need to have a great team. I have a great team, and I'm extremely organized. I have, fantastic protocols, and I help people with that, so it's like, if you need any help, I'll help you with how to get your business running smoothly. But, I usually set up things like 2 months in advance. I mean, my calendar is just like, it has to go right. I mean, even my mother, she's like, well, I want to come up. I said, no, you can't come up until 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I'm like, yes, sorry, Mom. So I tell people, I was like, if my mom, I can't see her, then, get over it. But, the thing is that look at Beyonce, look at Jennifer Lopez. I mean, they have just enough, like, hold on, you just have just enough time in the day like that you and I do. And how are they doing everything? So you do have to be a boss. It's funny because my mom comes up here, she wanted to work with me, and I didn't work out. I was like, all right, we'll try it. So I paid her. I was like, okay, you come in, you help me out. But it's not going to work out, Randy. You just can't do that. Even with millions of dollars of crypto, your mom's still going to go, Randy, come here, Randy. What is going on, Randy? Don't tell me what to do. She's like, what she said to me? She goes, you're being really bossy, Darcy. I'm like, Mother, that's what I'm doing today. I need you to do this. You cannot. Well, I need to take a nap. I'm kind of on a vacation. I'm like, no, I'm paying you. You said you want to work with me. After that, I said, you're fired. I love you. You're fired. Here's a couple $1,000. Go shopping. I was like, and then she was fine. Yeah, but I mean, that's my thing is I tell people, I was like, listen, if I fired my mother, I don't feel sorry for you. Boo-hooing. I don't want to hear it. I just. I don't, this is business. Business is, it can be tough as nails. You do have to have a tough skin. I tell people, if you want to be great, get a mentor, work under somebody, intern. That's the best way to learn, is to actually get in it and do the job.
Agreed.
People need it all the time. I mean, I've had multiple interns that I've helped and they've gone on to do great things. So, that's.
It's been said that you can't always run from yourself, but you can distract yourself. And you have started work in the metaverse. Do you think the metaverse is a way of distancing us from things that need to be done? Or is it a way of exploring part of ourselves that only maybe like military brats and new kids that go to new schools by putting on a different face that they experience?
Well, that's a good question. Man, you're like really philosophical. Yeah, I've never had anybody ask me questions like that. This is really good.
Okay, well, I'm doing my job then.
No, it's great. No, I like it. It's very artsy. It's a compliment to you. Now, I would say, being in the metaverse and what we're doing now is basically, this is new territory. We're pioneering on everything. And with the epidemic that happened with the coronavirus, it showed a lot of people, hey, oh my God, there's things that I can do at home.
Yeah.
And, people looked at it like a bad thing. My business was thriving. It was thriving. And I believe that the metaverse, can bring us together in all new ways. The fact that I could be on my couch and be talking to somebody from India, Dubai and London, and we could be, sitting on a couch talking about business and, having a great conversation or listening to music, that's some really great things. I just recently was brought on board as a co-owner of a metaverse project, in Come Island. It's like real estate, in the metaverse. And I love the hyper realistic metaverse that they have created. We have a lot of things in the works that, I can't wait to share with the world. And it's kind of, to me, a way to get away. The only thing I will tell you, if you put your Oculus on, anybody, be careful of what's around you, because I broke my pinky, doing boxing.
Really?
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, I boxed my chair. It was terrible.
Oh,
I got up and I was like, oh my God, but I knocked the guy out. So that was the good thing. But
okay,
you can learn. I'm telling you, with the Oculus, if you want to lose some weight, do boxing. There's so many things that you can do, and it's like mind blowing. It's like people that, and people in certain places, maybe they're never going to get to go anywhere. Maybe they're not going to be able to meet. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Some people never leave their hometowns.
Yeah. But think of this, think if, somebody, I always think outside the box. And so I always like to find new talent, and I like to give them a shot. And, there's so many people that, are great writers, producers, and, they would get this opportunity that they would probably never get to do. And so I'm telling you, crypto is changing the absolute game here. The whole metaverse we're right now, Web3 is bringing all of us together.
No, I agree.
Grab me nuts. It's bringing us all together, and at this point in time, I'm just really excited about the future and how we're going to be able to really do a lot for people. So, I can't even tell you the people that I've met. I just got back from London with Safu, and that's a great company too. You want to make some money? Hey, I'm not a financial advisor, but I can tell you, if instead of going to Vegas, throw away your money, put it into some Safu. They're a really great company too. So they do staking and all that kind of stuff. So get compounded interest every day. So it's
I love that. Like on Ascendex recently, you have them. They said you're able to stake the OMI token, OMI, and you get 10% per year. They pay out daily. I was like, oh wow, I've got like 100 million of those. That'd be great. Have you gotten into? They're the token that underpins the veve app. Have you gotten into veve yet?
BBF, yes.
Oh no, veve. VE Victor Echo Victor Echo.
Victor Echo. Yes. Yes, absolutely. I have.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Some of my favorite NFTs on there are probably like Alligator Loki, but then you have like Spider-Man and Deadpool NFTs. Do you have Disney or Star Wars NFTs, or are you waiting for
Uh,
something else?
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Viva is an amazing project, really. I mean, it's from
Yeah.
Ecomi, right? Ecomi.
Yeah.
And just like all the other projects out there, if they continue to deliver and develop partnerships with, I don't know what's going on. Something's going on with my
Oh,
thing here.
I
They
can see you
continue
good.
and like develop partnerships
Yeah.
with IRL companies. I believe that we're going to be a huge power play in Web3. So yeah, I do have a Marvel NFT. I do have that. So it's pretty cool. Captain America.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
it's very, very cute. It's not like that. Like it's not. Remember we
Oh,
talked about before
is
about
the
the NFTs that are different. I mean,
yeah.
it's a
Oh,
really
yeah.
cute
It's the
NFT, but
small
it's not.
mighties that are. Yeah.
Yes,
I have the whole
yes,
set.
it's
Yeah.
really cute. It's really cute, but it's not like all like 3D or
Yeah.
2D or anything. But yeah, it's really cute. It's like a little
Yeah. They
thing.
have the bigger Captain America, but it's not like a first appearance. So a lot of people don't like it because of that. They like the smaller one that's not exactly good looking, but it has that first
Yeah, but they're
appearance tag, so
cute.
people like it.
Like a Tic Tac, a little cute Tic Tac.
Yeah. They
No,
just had the Deadpool ones that came out with Lady Deadpool and Dogpool, and that, so those are really fun as well.
yeah.
Uh,
I listen. I love anything Deadpool. I'm a huge Ryan Reynolds fan.
uh,
I just, I mean, not, I don't get starstruck because I've worked with, some of the biggest stars in the business. My thing is, I just like his personality, like just being a person. I'm very sarcastic, like dry sarcastic, especially, when you get around people and they're annoying, and you're just like, you want to be nice, but you don't. You're just kind of like, let me just give him a little, let me just
yeah,
be a little sarcastic. And when people say stuff or he's like me, somebody if you get I don't know why people call them fans. They're not fans. If they're saying talking shit to you, they're not a fan. I
yeah.
read that sometimes. They're like, the fan said to this. I'm like, they're not a fan. They're a-hole. They're not a fan. So we should just call them for a-hole. But it's like he's always like he takes jabs at himself and he says funny things. So
Yeah, him and Hugh
I
Jackman
love
is a great
everything.
relationship.
I love that movie. The movie was hilarious. It's like to me, it's a total guy movie, but I'm like a
Yeah,
tomboy, believe it or not. So that was kind of my jam.
yeah, no, he's great.
He is
So
great.
I think getting into Vivi and Omi was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. You
Cool.
once said that making great choices is what leads people to great lives. So whether it be be at a crossroads or a quick decision or snap judgment call, what was the best decision you've ever made?
Oh wow, best decision I ever made. Probably getting into crypto. To be honest, to getting into the whole
Overacting, over
metaverse.
singing, over everything. That was the best.
See, that's hard. I mean, I really can't say that because it's like everything has been a stepping stone. So
Led
it's
to
like,
another.
you know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
uh, that's a hard question. I mean, I don't know if I could, pinpoint an exact answer for you because
Okay.
there's
So
just been
different
so
one
many.
then. Has life gotten easier for you as you've become more and more successful, or has the complexities of fame and money and the problems you're currently facing made it more challenging?
I'm going to say it's been kind of 50-50. It's just, I mean, when I was struggling and and trying to get in the business and then, trying to, make my company and do everything, there was a lot of things that I will have to say, I went through. I mean, people don't know my background story. Definitely didn't have a Paris Hilton life. I came from nothing. And, my mother was in an abusive relationship with my stepdad. I mean, they're not together anymore, but there was just a lot of things that happened. I dealt with sexual abuse as a kid, and there was a lot of friction in the family. When my grandfather died, it kind of was the glue to everything. So it's like, I didn't really have a stable home. I was out when I was like right when I turned 17. So it was like I was on my own. And, it's just from when you really don't really have a parent, like a solid support system, you're on your own.
Yeah.
And I used to wish, I was like, man, I don't know what. I mean, my grandmother and my grandfather, I did live with them through some really my mom went into hiding. Per her lawyer, she went into hiding from my ex-stepfather because he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, so to say. But the one thing is that I really got to see what a stable family was like with my grandmother and my grandfather. So I thrived, but I saw both sides. It's like I saw my mom married a guy who's very, very wealthy. So my stepdad was very wealthy, but we lived in fear all the time. There was beatings, there was this. I mean, so we had this huge mansion house where I would literally get in trouble for riding my scooter inside. But I was terrified. It was too big. I didn't like it. It was like Amityville Horror. I remember I ended up seeing that movie, was terrified. But
that's right near me. It's like 2 miles away.
Yeah. And then, but then, my mom was a single mom raising me. My real dad and her, they divorced when I was 2. So it's like, she was a single mom working 2 jobs, but she did the best she could. She put me in a private school, which, I really, my hat's off to her. So it's like, I do things for her now. And she's like, you don't need to do all this. But I'm like, you did these things for me. You got me braces, you worked 2 jobs. So now it's my turn. And that's where I feel like kids need to take care of their parents at a certain age if they've done stuff for you. So, and her and I've had moments, not so great, but at the same time, it's just, I look back and I'm thinking, this is what made me tough. I feel like sometimes, the girls that I went to school with whose daddies bought them a car, and I'm working 2 jobs trying to get a car, but I look back and it's like, it served me well because where I'm at now, like I love my house. I love the people that are around me. I have 6 dogs. I have a beautiful house, nice, beautiful cars. I worked my ass off though. It's not like somebody just gave it to me. So, it's nice not having to worry about money. And the funny joke is if people say, somebody that says, oh, what is that saying about money?
Money doesn't buy happiness.
Yeah, money doesn't buy happiness. They're like, didn't have any money. And it's true because, I just remember, my mom would help me. She would come, she would help me with, I didn't have enough money to pay for my electricity. There were times where I was like, God, what am I going to do? I had to sell stuff of mine, to make rent or, to do things. And so it's like, it's nice not having that. So you got to think, having all this pressure of, doing things and trying to make it, but then you're also having the pressure of how am I going to pay my bills? Yeah. So, that is what's really nice. But, now I also have to deal with, I'm in the public, there's people that, God, I don't agree with what Will Smith did, but he says, when you are in the public, people do take pot shots or will try to say things. I've been lucky to where, I've, knock on wood, but, I haven't had that yet. I'm just gonna try to, I have had, I call them, I don't know what you call them. Maxis in the business, every now and then you get a hater, but it's just, futter or futter, whatever they're called.
Yeah. Futters, haters.
But futter haters. But at the same time, I kind of laugh at it when they say things, but it's rare. So I appreciate that. But it's like, the thing is that gets on my nerves with what you said, Randy, is I'm not allowed to have a bad day ever. Nobody wants to see me. There have been times where I've literally, had an accident, went into the hospital, broke my arm. I've got to be on, on camera to do a media interview. I have to be peppy. I have to be happy. I can't ever be sad. There was one time, I lost my dog of 15 years. I sat with her that morning. She died in my arms. I was utterly devastated. And I had to meet with some big producers for a film. And I couldn't even remember my lines, and there weren't that many lines, but they didn't know that my dog just died. They didn't know what I went through, that, I had to I was sitting there 6 hours holding her because, she started having breathing problems like around 3, 4, and so nobody was open, to take her. And, I had to watch her, die in my arms. And, Roxy was one of the best dogs I ever had. So it's just, it's like people don't know, they don't know the backstory sometimes, and I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. When somebody's being in a butthole or not in a good mood, I'm like, maybe something happened. Maybe there's a reason. But, before you judge anybody, you gotta know, what did they go through? Or, maybe they got a phone call and their mom's got cancer and, they're having a bad day. So,
That reminds me of a quote that I think it was Jim Carrey's dad, that, he told him, you can fail at what you don't love, so you might as well try something that you love.
Absolutely.
Is this life something that you chose because you were good at it, or because you love it?
Both.
Yeah.
It just kind of came natural. I mean, my mom worked 2 jobs, so it's like, that's all I did. Like I was kind of unsupervised. I heard her crying one time. She's like, she didn't have enough, money for a babysitter.
Yeah.
So I got upset, and, I mean, she definitely would get in trouble today, because I don't think they would allow 8-year-olds by themselves. But I was like, Mommy, I'm big enough, and I'll take care of myself. And so, she worked her jobs. I was terrified sometimes. I remember I used to turn the radio all the way up, and then all of a sudden the neighbors would knock on the door and I'd act like I wasn't there. And then I'd turn it down like, oh shit, But I would entertain. That's what I would do. I would sit all my dolls on the bed, or my mom had this like maroon couch. So I would sit all of my dolls and all my pets. And I would do like acting, and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna do a music show for you guys, So I was doing it as a way to keep myself occupied, entertained, and not scared, like, So I just that's just something I did, and I don't know. It's just like I started doing things when I was a kid, and when I got in a commercial, they had these signs all over about, oh, we're looking for kids for a commercial at my school. So I went, and I mean, they had a ton of kids. They had like 500 kids in there. It was crazy, and I got one of the best scores. So, my mom, they said can definitely work in commercials. So I did a commercial, and at that time, there was some stuff going on with my mom and my dad about they were going through a custody battle of who wanted me. So it's kind of like my dreams kind of faded at that point, because, it's like my mom wasn't like, what do they call them when they're like momagers? She wasn't like a stage mom.
Like a dance mom?
Like if I had Kris Jenner for a mother, are you kidding? I would have loved it. It was just weird. It was so weird because my aunt, my mom's sister, she wanted her daughter to be like, do what I do. But her daughter was like a basketball player. She's like, I don't want to do all what Darcy does. That's not my thing. Natalie was a beautiful girl, but she didn't want to do it. But my mom was like, you do it. Great. She could have cared less, you want to do pageants. But I was like, Mom, I want to go to this audition. Mom, I want to do this. Mom, I want to be in a beauty pageant. So it was just me. I was the one that did it. And my solace was singing and watching movies. I mean, that's always been my thing. And then, to be cool at school, I would do commercials, and I would, try to be, cool. So I would go to school and like, kind of like Jim Carrey. I would like, do
really animated.
Yeah, I would just animate, because I was kind of awkward. I think back now, and I was like, do you ever just want to go back in time, Randy, and just smack yourself a little bit and go, what the hell are you doing? Like
scenarios like 15 years ago come to you in the shower. Why did I say that? Like it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. So that's kind of me. I'm like, oh my God, God, I was a weird kid. I'm like, why did you say something that's stupid? You were a stupid little shit, but
they make a really good point of that in like BoJack Horseman. I don't know if you've ever seen it. He has like in his mind, it's like 20 minutes of inner monologues, like, you're a stupid piece of crap. You're stupid. You don't deserve this cookie. You don't deserve any, like, and that's just like the whole episode. It was nuts.
Well,
Uh,
hey, do you have Netflix? Do you watch Netflix at all?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's what BoJack from.
Well, what's the new show that Ryan Reynolds just did? I saw it. I can't remember the name.
There was a movie called Red that was like recently, but
No,
I don't know if he did a
it's
show.
no, it was where he saw his younger self. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Adam Project. The
Okay,
Adam Project. Did you see that?
I did not.
Okay, Randy, I'm gonna hold you to it. Go watch
Okay.
that. Because I was watching, I was like, oh hell yeah, I would do that. I would so do it. He goes through a time machine and then he meets his younger self. That's all I'm gonna say. No more.
Okay. Okay.
But
All right. I would totally do that.
yeah, but I was just like, I kept thinking to myself, I'm always thinking, so I thought, God, what would I do? I was like, you poor girl, man. I would go and I would, I'd be like, you poor thing.
Yeah.
We gotta help you out here.
Yeah. So
So
there's a
uh,
lot that people in entertainment do, like when like the camera and the lights are off and the camera, there's nothing else going on. There's this project called Fish, where it's like fish but fish, FEESH, where you just get like you mint a fish and you get like this tank and you just watch them swim. It's really cool. Have you heard of it?
no.
It's really fun. It's really interesting.
That
You
would
just
be
get one
I
fish
would do that.
and everything else you just get for free. You just like take like a few minutes a day and you just sit back and you just watch it swim. You can turn on portals so other fish can come in. It's really cool. It's really interactive.
It's cool. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I had a. Do you remember those fish that they actually had it at I don't know, it was a festival or something, and I ended up buying a bunch. Those fish that they have them
Oh,
in a
you win
bowl.
and yeah, yeah.
What I can't remember what they're called, but I did not know that you cannot put them together. They eat each
Oh
other.
yeah,
There's
they
some sort of Japanese fish. Hold on, it's gonna come to me. Oh God, come on. Beta fish,
okay. Yeah, yeah,
beta fish.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard of those.
yeah. I woke up and I was like, oh my God. And then I had another one, and my sister, she she was terrified that she killed it. So then she got me another one to try to,
Yeah.
like, pull off like, this is your fish. Yeah, that's not my fish. He had an oogly googly eye. This one doesn't have an oogly googly eye. She's trying to pawn off my fish. I was
Couldn't
not
pull the
happy.
wool over your eyes, huh?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, he has a big googly eye. What the heck? This
Yeah.
fish doesn't. Who is this fish?
So my first metaverse that got into before Vivi and Akomi was Earth 2. Have you ever heard
Oh,
of that?
cool. No, I haven't heard of that.
It's pretty cool. Like they partnered with Mapbox and they made like a one-to-one metaverse, like one-to-one map of Earth, and they
Oh,
just called it Earth
nice.
2. It was really cool. What was the
That
first
does sound
metaverse?
cool.
Yeah, it was great. What was the first one you got into?
Metaverse
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
let's
I
see.
guess anything in the space.
Well, I mean, when I first did my Oculus, I will have to tell you, I ended up uh my kickboxing and stuff. Like that's the first thing. Well,
Okay.
I just went in, and you just go in and you look, and I'm like, wow. And then, there's all these things that you could buy, but the first chance I got, I was like going into the boxing and sandbox. I was
Yeah.
doing that. So that's what I first did. I mean, now it's like, I'm getting into, metaverse real estates, and there's just all these other things that are going on. I mean, where you can get a palace, a mansion. And technically, it's great. You could live in like a cardboard box. You put the
Yeah.
Oculus on and you're like a, prince in your mansion. So that's the cool thing.
Yeah.
You
People
can,
paid so much money. I think it was somebody paid, I think, 50,000 Solana to get a plot of land in Heavenland underscore IO.
are you kidding?
I don't know. I haven't heard of the product. I just heard of the sale, which is
Wow.
equivalent to like over $1 million. And I was like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
God.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, look at what the NFTs are selling for, like Eminem and Bieber and, my
Yeah.
buddy Snoop and all that. I mean, 450,000, 550,000, or, 5 million. I mean,
Yeah.
500,000. Sorry, but
Yeah.
it's, it's crazy. But, I tell people, I'm like, the pet rock was a big sensation. You
Yeah.
had the Rubik's Cube, which is just literally, a
Yeah.
puzzle. I mean, but the pet rock was a huge deal. Uh, I'm trying to think of other things, but when you look over time, I mean, we could actually go in a time capsule and see all the things that were like when it trended at that time. It was huge.
Yeah.
Um, but right where we're at right now, this is going to really change the world. I mean,
yeah. And that's what I love about this space is that I don't want to, I mean, it's easy to see what will be successful, like easy to place where to place your chips on. Like most companies probably won't do that well, especially now in the recession, bear market. But you can always count on like Disney and Marvel and Back to the Future. That's why I really like veve so much. So that's why I put a lot of stuff in them. What's your biggest bet right now? What's like the most amount that you've put into any one project?
Oh God!
Or which project is it? You don't have to say how much. Just which.
Yeah,
project.
I don't want to say how much because then they may like, Darcy, you put more money into my, So what? Okay, so you're saying the biggest project? Well, I diversify, of course. So that's my big thing. But I don't know because if I tell you anything, I'm going to get in trouble. But but I will say, the tokens and people that I would say definitely get into is Rise Up token. I've gotten into Island token, the Income Island token, but it's Inc. Island token. E-Coin Finance, of course, because I'm the CMO.
CMO.
Yeah, Enhance token. They're a really great company. Actually, yeah. If you were here, I'd give you an Enhanced drink. They sent me a bunch of merch. I love it.
Cool.
And got it. A Grove token. Duh. God.
So give me a quick blurb on E-Coin Finance and why we should be excited about that.
Oh, well, first of all, the founders are amazing. I met Zaid, actually, he's from London, and I met him, and we talked, strategies and stuff. But, this token is in the works to have, a wallet and a debit card. So you can use it to buy anything. Now, this is what's, hello, worldwide, which is huge. As long as you have E-Coin in your wallet, I mean, you can go anywhere. And, what's interesting is I did a roundtable with a lot of other people, in the crypto community and in the, Web3. And the one thing that was interesting is, there was somebody from the Cayman Islands and they don't have crypto. They don't accept it or anything. Yeah. So I was just like, well, with E-Coin, you can do this and you can do this. We can get your pizza, some crypto debit cards, they're only regional, some of them, but this is going to be worldwide. So that's the cool thing, and plus the CEO, anybody that I work with, I have to make sure that they're doxxed. I've been offered 7 figures multiple times and I turn the money down because my reputation is on the line. And I'm like, if your people aren't doxxed, if you don't have your smart contract, up to date, or if I look at it and I don't like it, I'm not going to work with these people. I'm just not, because here's the deal. I'm kind of like, if I'm on the Titanic with everybody and I tell them, hey, do this. I'm like, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is what I put my money into. This is what my mom, which, if I lose my mother's money, I'd rather be like in Alcatraz, with some of the biggest, baddest asses than have to deal with my mom, or, have 100 million proctology exams than deal with my mom getting angry at me. So, I mean, it's true. So the thing is that if something tanks, then it happens to me too. So, it's not like I'm some person sitting on a soapbox. I mean, listen, I know so many celebrities, I'm not going to even name their names, but there are other celebrities out there that are sitting on a soapbox, don't know anything about crypto, don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just like, somebody gave me 7 figures and now I'm going to tell you to get it. They're not even invested in it. Yeah. It's just because they have a huge following. And, so they don't really care about their community. They really don't. They're just looking at the paycheck. And at the end of the day, it's like, if the Titanic's going down, I'm going to go down with it. I'm going to go down with my peeps, we'll drink some and we'll just go shit, together, but, I'm not going to be the one that's like, jumping ship while there's other people aboard. That's not how I roll at all. Utilities with everything that I do are very important. So that's the other thing. Okay. But,
that's just what I did. I held through everything and say like, hey guys, we're in the same boat. Can't say that we're not.
Yeah, so it's like, if somebody gets mad at me, like, oh, this happened, I'm like, okay, well, it happened to me too. I mean, I've had a rug pull before, and totally, I knew the owner. I believed in him, but see, a dev went in and made did coding and went into the back door, so it's like, they basically took their money, and I mean, that wasn't their fault. Was it? It was the dev's fault. The dev undermined them. So it's like, I try to tell people, I'm like, you've got to sit here and think. I mean, have you ever been betrayed by a friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, majority, 95% of people have been betrayed or have had somebody do that. I mean, we just don't know. You go in and you put your best foot forward. I'm like an investigator, like the FBI, but that's one of the reasons why I partnered up with Rise Up Token, was to protect this situation from happening. So, I tell everybody,
very good.
Yeah, I mean, Rise Up Token is no joke. I mean, the CEO and I talk all the time. He is a stand-up. I mean, I got to tell you, he is a stand-up human being. I mean, there's been times where, there's been fans of mine that have been rug pulled in different projects, and he's actually, Davey is amazing. He's actually gone in and given them money back in their wallet for what they lost. And I don't know a lot of people who would do that. So, we're fighting. I want to be with them for the long haul, because, they are fighting against, Web3, cyber and crypto scams. They're using their advanced technology, which is, I mean, it is really amazing. So, they have a lot more in the works, but, they're helping you with, honeypot, rug pulls, honeypots, all this stuff. They're really like an amazing team, and those are the kind of people I want to associate with. I want to help people, and but no matter what you do in business, there's always going to be something. There's credit card scams, there's check scams, it's just whatever you do, there's going to be something. There's people that prey on old people, and prey on innocent people that are even in the hospital. So it's like, you've got to sit here and do your due diligence. That's all.
Agreed. So there was, before we get out of time, I did have one more question to ask.
Absolutely.
In Rose Tico from Star Wars, one of the quotes that she said was, "Don't kill what you hate, save what you love." And with your with your philanthropic goals, I wanted to ask, what is one thing that you would hope to save in this life or on this earth before you go?
Oh, wow. You are so, like, we need to make a philosophical book. You need to be a writer or a poet. You're amazing.
My friend Dan Schawbel, the New York Times bestseller, said you need to write a book. I was like, I maybe one day.
One of your fans says, Darcy, help Randy get a movie. We will do it. I will. You know what? With my NFT project. Oh, actually, you know what? For my NFT project, my movie that I'm going to be doing, you'd be actually really, really good.
I can gain and lose weight, whatever you need. I'll cut the hair.
No, actually, you're perfect. You're perfect.
Okay.
You're perfect. Okay. Well, I'm going to put your name down. Just remember when the project comes out. I can't say anything yet, but yeah, you're perfect. But I'd be honest, if I couldn't put you in it, I'd be like, no. But no, actually, you're perfect.
Yeah.
There's several roles.
Yeah,
exactly. Make sure that you stay in touch with Dylan. You'll be perfect. It'd be great. I would say, in answer to your question, definitely our planet. That's why Grove Token, one of the companies that I'm working with, they're doing that. People don't realize that the air, what's going on right now, there's a lot of people, there's so many people that are sick, and it's because of the air, the water. I mean, I'll tell you, when I went to London, their water was unfucking believable. Oh God, I said, sorry. Leave that out. It was so incredible. Like here in LA, the water's horrible. Like, it's just not. I mean, Vegas is much worse, but I mean, people's hair literally comes out.
Yeah.
In certain and if anybody remembers the Aaron Brockovich, that's based on his true story about what the water that a company was putting contaminants into, and it ended up giving a lot of the people that lived there in the community. It gave them cancer. They were having people were dying.
Yeah.
So, that's the one thing that we really need to do in society is clean up our water, and help out with things. That's why, I did partner up with Grove Token because, they're a decentralized digital currency that's made in an environmental conscious way. So, they do solar farming. They do hydroponic, farming. And they also do aeroponic farming. So they do all these different things that are where they're really, really, really helping the environment. And so that's one thing that I'm really big on, because when I went to England, I was like, oh my God, we look like a third world country here. There was no graffiti. The streets were, so clean, Randy. Oh my God. But they are no joke there. If you have if you're carrying a weapon, you go to jail. If you have a knife on you, a dull knife, even a switchblade, something small, a tiny little mace, you go to jail. They don't mess around there. We get away with a lot here in America. We don't even realize how much freedom we have. It was just pretty crazy, but at the same time, it's just everybody was very, the men there were very civilized. There were a lot of gentlemen there, very chivalrous people, like the guys that were there. The women were very pleasant, but it's just a whole different vibe compared to, here. So I don't know, but definitely, wouldn't you say the environment is our huge thing? Because I got to tell you, I have sinus problems. I have sinusitis every 4 to 5 months. I have to go on amoxicillin because of the air here. It's so bad.
So my biggest goal would be animal conservation, because there's so many other people that are kind of working on the environment, and I'm not really that smart, but
shut up. You're smart. You stop saying that.
I'm very good at numbers, and whether a company's undervalued or overvalued, but I know I can make
accountants
money.
make millions, darling. Hello.
So
if you're good with numbers, you can do anything. Because I'll tell you, I suck. If I didn't have a calculator.
Oh, we'll be a great team, Fusion High.
Yeah. See. There you go. You got to have the mastermind.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be like the hustler. I'll be like, get in here, and you're like, don't mess with the accountant now. He knows all the goods. Why can't you do both? See, that's the thing. You know me. It's like I want to do stuff for the world, but there's so many things. There's women that are being abused every day. I was with a charity with that. There's so many. I've gone into. I'm like you with animals. My mom loves elephants. That's always been her. And how everybody has their animal totem thing. She loves elephants. She has them all over her house. She just says that she loves the way that elephants are so loyal, and there is an elephant sanctuary in Nashville that she wants me to help. So I told her I would do that. To give her something to do. I don't believe in retirement. I think when you retire, you die. Even if you got, I can retire right now, but I don't want to, because if I do, I'm probably going to die. It's like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to retire? You should keep that, keep the muscles going,
I'm laughing because I retired last year.
You did?
Yeah. It's because I had 2 businesses. I was trying to launch YouTube. I had a girlfriend, and I was like, it's too much. So, I guess okay,
wait a minute. What do you mean exactly by retire, though, Randy? Let's do you mean like sitting on your ass, not doing anything, eating potato chips, watching all your movies all the time? And not having,
a little bit of that. But
I do a little bit of that too.
It was more of just.
And you're doing a podcast right now, so that's work. True. That's what So.
Yeah. It was more. I had 2 other businesses. One was in high risk lending. One was in high end collectibles. And I just decided, I was working so much. I was sobbing in my office every night. This human shouldn't work this much. So I stepped back for that, and then I guess I kind of just threw myself into YouTube because it's fun, and there's a lot of money left on the table, like,
Right.
everywhere. And I was like, guys, like, I've done this with Tesla and Pokemon cards, and now I'm onto the Comey and crypto and the metaverse. So I was like, there's a lot of money to be made. And I think Ron Paul said, if you have the ability to help in a situation, you have the moral obligation to do so. It's like, I can help people. So it was,
Yeah, absolutely. I
but like,
mean,
I'm sitting
I
down
wish
and
I
I'm,
would have known, because I could have told, see, and that's one of my gifts. So I could have helped you kind of, streamline everything to where, you could do what you needed to do, because, it's true though, if you have a lot going on, I mean, have you seen those shows like Home Edit, stuff like that? I mean,
I don't think so.
or even like when you go into and you see they have shows where the Tabitha takes over. I'm sorry, but I do love reality shows. There's certain reality shows I won't watch, but that's like that's my, what is it you call it, your private indulgence or whatever.
Yeah, guilty pleasures and stuff like that.
Guilty pleasure. Yeah, that's my guilty pleasure. I mean, but when you watch some of these stuff, you do learn things. Like I love like the Home Edit, and it's talks about organizing. Tabitha takes over. I mean, that's kind of how I am. I can look at somebody in business and go, okay, what are you doing? Where do we need to go? With my team, I have weekly goals. You need a monthly goal. You need, quarterly. You need to, have what you want to do for the end goal. Because if you don't, there's nothing you can do. There's a good show actually you should watch. It's called Billionaire Undercover, Randy.
Okay.
And they really, they give you great ideas. I mean, ideas that I would do. But, when you're expanding, especially your girlfriend, put her ass to work. She needs to be working too,
Oh, no,
She can be
she's
your
a
assistant.
veterinarian. She's a doctor, so she works a lot.
Well, see, okay, here's the deal. If she works a lot and you work a lot, y'all need to come together as a team, because I'll tell you, the
We are.
richest. Okay, well, okay, so then
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah, she'll be a
So,
veterinarian at my sanctuaries when I build them. Yeah.
well, there you go. So, the richest people in the world usually are married, and they have their significant other by their side, and they're working as a team. That's where the saying, for every great man, there's a greater woman. So, I always say, try to pick a partner that's going to do that, because listen, my thing is, I love reality shows. I do. And I'm not going to say the reality show, because one of the people on the show ended up, he actually follows me, and I talked to him. He's a nice kid. But
Yeah.
the thing is, he's a billionaire. His parents are billionaires. He's a billionaire, but he doesn't do anything. He just sits there and travels
Oh,
the world. That's it. And then he'll just sit there on the show, just sit there and like on his couch and, let's have a party. But I'm like, what are you doing with your life? That's the
yeah.
thing.
There's a sense of accomplishment.
You gotta, that's why I think, because this person came from that much money, it's sometimes it may be harder to comprehend the fact that I came from nothing. I do feel like, even though the struggle was so hard and so horrific, at the same time, it's made me appreciate, but also want to change the world, change things. So
There's a
I need to
quote
give back
from,
now. You and I need to give back.
yeah.
And do things. And plus, I used to think, God, why did this all happen to me? Why did I have to deal with this? What is it? It's kind of like God gave me like a shit platter with every different type of shit you can think of, but I didn't have to like eat the whole thing all at once. Otherwise I'd probably be dead. But
If you ask
I
God
can.
for wisdom, he'll give you problems to solve. And that's how you get
Exactly. So, I can talk to somebody about sexual abuse. I can sit there and talk to somebody about, domestic violence. I can talk to somebody about, depression or PTSD or, anxiety or, just, coming from a weird family, or so anything anybody has, I can talk about it. There's not
So,
one thing somebody can say and I don't have some expertise of area in it. So, I look at it and I'm like, that's what's helped me, because I can relate so much to my fans. There's
yeah.
fans going through a lot. Some of them, that's one of the reasons why I wrote my book, because, I've saved 6 people from suicide. So
Thank
to
you.
me, that's a,
Yeah.
thank you, God. That's a big win right there.
Huge one.
So You
So
know, that's awesome. You know, that's
yeah,
awesome when we can make a difference, right, Randy?
yeah.
So,
And we talked about partners a little bit. My girlfriend a little bit. Drax the Destroyer in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie said that when you're ugly and someone loves you, you know that people love you for who you are. But beautiful people like yourself might never know who to trust. How do you know who to trust with your beauty and money? Like, what's your walls that you put up that people have to
well,
bend?
I mean, beautiful. See, I don't consider myself beautiful. I really don't. I mean, I know, God, I thank you. I appreciate you for saying that. But I was a not a. I don't think I was an attractive kid. I mean, obviously, I was like, Mom, I was an ugly kid. She's like, No, you weren't. But listen, I don't think I was a good looking kid. I had, big buck teeth. I mean, I've worked braces for so long, but um, I just know how I felt. My cousin, when I was a kid, I told you again, I cut my teeth. I was like Justin Bieber with buck teeth. My cousin, on the other hand, this was my dad's brother's daughter. I mean, she had ringlet curls that were blonde. She was very, very, cute. She was a pretty kid, and I just felt in the family on my dad's side that, my grandmother told me, I don't remember it, but I just remember the feeling was so horrible. But I came in one day and I go, Grandma, I'm ugly. And she's like, what? No, you're not. It's like, yeah, nobody, the family doesn't like me. Tracy got away with murder. I always got in trouble because I think it's just because because I was ugly. So, when, people don't understand what you go through when you're at your lowest. And, when my grandmother would tell me that, she told me that story, it's like, I saw where this was coming from. No matter what, I always thought, I'm not that good looking, because when your family does that to you, that really messes with your brain. When you're like, I'm an
Yeah,
ugly kid, my own family thinks I'm ugly,
yeah.
your
I
I
was
mean, come
adopted,
on,
so
we've
I
seen
like
those
never
people.
fit in.
Well, we've seen those people that, do you know what I'm talking about? You see them on the shows and they're like, oh God, they're a horrible singer or they have no talent, but they're
Yeah,
like, they walk in and they're like, I'm the shit because of their parents. Their parents are like, oh, everything you do is so cute. Oh, you're so awesome. I really didn't get that. So it was just, I really have to know people. I really have to get to know someone before I let them in. And, it's usually at least a 3-year thing, at least, before you really know somebody.
wow.
I always say you meet their publicist. And here's what I'm going to give you a really, for everybody watching, this is something to really, really consider. So what I always tell people is, you have your house, right? You got your house. That's your baby, your house. That's, you got your money, you got your friend, you got your furniture, you got, let's say you got money in there, you got food. That's your,
Yeah,
that's your heart right there.
yeah.
So
It's like,
let's say that's, so who would you have in there? I'm gonna use you as an example. So who would be your heart? Who would you say, it would be your girlfriend, right?
yeah.
So your girlfriend, who else would you let in that house?
Oh, friends. Megan, Dan, Nick, Meg, just off the top of my head, Brittany, Kara,
Okay.
a bunch of,
So
yeah.
that's about what, 4 or 5 people?
There's maybe a couple
Now
more, but
these
yeah,
are now, I mean, I'm serious. Like, are these people your diehard people? Like you could say, hey,
yeah,
my
yeah,
life's on the line here, right?
yeah. I didn't even mention my veteran friends who would, yeah, one call.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
everyone's here.
you're actually, Randy, what? I don't feel sorry for you. I love you, but you're doing
Yeah,
you're
no,
doing even better than me.
I'm
Okay.
very lucky. I'm
So
very, very
kiss
lucky.
my butt right now. All right. I'm
My
actually jealous
blessing.
of you. I will say that. So
My
anyway,
blessing is a good way.
so so if you're sitting there and you got all those people in your house, that's your like pack. That's your pack right there. So then so then you have people on your porch, like in your surrounding area. They would be like, you got your sheep, you got your stuff. So it's like these are people you would be let around, your dogs, your sheep, they can come in, but they're not allowed in the house. Do you get what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So they're like a friend, but not, you're like still like they're not going to come in the house. You're not going to let them come into the goods to steal from you. Do you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
So then you put those people in that place. Then around the perimeter, That's where you have the people that you're just kind of like, that's an acquaintance, maybe a business person, but it's like you wouldn't even let them come in where your sheep, your dogs, you know what I mean? They're kind of, I wouldn't say wolves, but you don't know what you're going to get. Are they going to come and eat your sheep? Are they going to come? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not, they have to prove themselves to get into that next like porch area that's into your like heart, to your home.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of what I always do when I'm with people. I watch what they do. And it's funny because
It's like 1 year per
especially with,
level, like outside sheep and then inside. Yeah.
yeah, because you know the thing is that you know, people can say anything, but trust is earned. It's not given.
Yeah.
You know, I know how the person I am. I have so much integrity. I'm almost too honest. I'm very straightforward. You know, no, you know, I say it like it is. I think you probably realize that right now, but it's just I do. And you know, if somebody can't take it, I'm just like, well, you know, hey, well, I hate that. Would you rather have somebody lie to you all the time? You know, and I don't like to have people what I call what I think has messed up a lot of careers in the entertainment industry is you get what I call yes people.
I've seen that.
If you have too many yes people around you, they're really not going to tell you the straight facts. They're not going to say, hey, your ass is getting fat. Hey, you sucked in that movie. You know, I'm my worst critic. I mean, I am so bad. Like it's sometimes it's like I can't even watch Anchorman when it first came. I just couldn't watch it, you know. You know, and I mean Michael Jackson dealt with that. He dealt with that kind of thing. So it's
Johnny
like
Depp does that too. He never watches his own movies.
yeah. So, you know, the thing is that you really have to watch, you know, who you let in your home, in your heart. And, you know, the one thing too is, you know, people's negative energy. I mean, I've been around the world. I've been around a lot of different people. I mean, amazing people, Buddhists, you know, people that are Reiki masters, stuff. And it's like things I've learned over the time is, you know, you really have to be careful who you let in your home because their energy is going to come into your home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have sage. I do it in my office. I mean, I told him, I was like, listen, this is not a pot stick. This is sage, and this is what's got to happen. You know what I mean? I mean, I'll never forget when I first told my mom about sage. She thought she's like, what am I supposed to do? Smoke it? I was like, no, mother, it is not a blunt. Okay. This is sage. Yeah, she literally tried to smoke it. She's like, am I supposed to smoke it? I was like, no. Oh my God.
Is that toxic?
I'm going to write that in a movie. Yeah, I'm going to write that in a movie. It was like that thick. And I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Oh my God.
She is a gangster. She's a funny
you know,
lady.
she partied back in the 70s. Like,
are you kidding?
You know.
It's what's so funny is that I would be the one going, Mom, you shouldn't be doing that. Stop that. You know, like I was always the one that, you know, I remember when, you know, then when I would start having parties, you know, when I got my first house in Nashville and stuff, I had all these, you know, friends over and everything. And then she's like in the smoking area with my friends, if you understand, in the smoking area. Okay. You know, but they were just, you know, having a good time. And I'm like, what are you doing? Get over here. You should not be doing that or drinking. She's like, maybe like, your mom is so awesome. She's so cool. I'm like, you know, but yeah, it's almost like I'm the parent. But you know,
that happens after a while. At some point, you have to do that.
Oh, it does. It's annoying. I mean, I have to tell her. I'm like, Mother, you know how many businesses I own? Will you just please? I mean, it's, you know, I love her to death. She is an amazing woman. She really does. She has a heart of gold. I mean, sometimes I've had to get on to her because she's too nice. You know, she's gotten taken advantage of too. But you know, I've just learned it. It's like you can tell people all day long, and especially your parents, but they're going to look at you like you got three eyes. I've literally told her stuff that she's gone to a therapist for, and she's had to pay $100 an hour. And I'm like, Mother, I just told you the same thing. Well, you know, so Randy told me this, and I was like, Randy, you're right. And I'm like, Mother, I said that same thing. It doesn't matter. But see, you know, if you would have called my mom and told my mom that, she was like, oh, that Randy Chavez, I just love him. Oh my God, he's so amazing. I'm like, Mom, I just said that yesterday. Well, I don't know. Randy knows his stuff. Yeah, that's how she would be with me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, whatever. But you know, you just got to laugh about it. I mean, I can't tell you how many like between her, my grandmother I mean, she passed away, but just her, like things that she's done and people witness. I mean, I have stuff in my writing, like I have so many storylines for so many shows, because there's a comedy that I am going to be putting out after this movie that we're going to be doing, and I'm telling you, there's just so much stuff in it that you wouldn't believe.
So I have I have some that I would again, after everything's done, I'll run it past you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have the anything else you want to say? I know we've gone a little over an hour.
Yeah,
Anything?
I told you that was going to happen. That's why Dylan's like, hey.
So anything you want to say to everyone or the world that will watch this after?
Well, I just want to say, thank you for Randy. Randy is really sweet. He's very talented, and I love the fact that, he's doing a lot of great things. I think he's an amazing person, and I thank you all. Come if you need help with your business, or you need some inspiration, or come onto my Twitter, at Darcy Donavan, my Facebook, Instagram, and I'll do whatever I can to help you.
And can I just hold you for 30 seconds after we end?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks, guys.
Oh, yay.
Everyone say bye-bye.